5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, and welcome to the BrainSpace Software YouTube learning channel called Brainwaves. This new channel will provide you with access to a series of videos focused on BrainSpace demonstrations and how-to training videos. In this video, I will demonstrate how to create and manage both users and groups in BrainSpace. It's important to understand that there are currently 3 permission levels within BrainSpace: users, group admins, and super admins. Users can utilize all of the features of BrainSpace, but are unable to create and manage tags, connectors, data sets, or manage users or user groups. Just to reiterate, users are unable to create and manage tags, connectors, data sets, users, or user groups. Group admins can utilize all the features of BrainSpace, including the ability to create and manage tags,
use existing connectors,
and data sets for any data set the user has been granted group admin permissions to. However, group admins are not permitted to create and manage users
create connectors,
or user groups. That power lies with the super admin. And finally, super admins. No surprise here, super admins have the ability to use any feature within BrainSpace, including all of the administration functions such as managing connectors, data sets, tags, as well as managing both users
Now let's
and
begin the
user group
demonstration.
permissions.
Okay, we're going to log into BrainSpace and we're going to go to the administration section of the application. And we're going to first create a new user. To do that, we're going to go to the User and Groups tab. And remember, you have to be a super admin to perform this function. We're going to click on the New User button. We're going to give our new user a name. We're going to call this user2. And we need to input the full name as well as the user's full email address. And this has to be their work email address. And we'll also give the user a default password. And we're going to ensure that we set the force password change to turn on. That way, whatever password you've set for the user, as soon as they log in for the first time, they'll automatically be forced to change their password to whatever they specify. That way, as a person managing permissions for your organization, you're not aware of the individual passwords for each of your users. Now here at this point, if this individual was going to be a super admin, I would toggle this feature on here and enable this user to be a super admin. In this case, we're going to create just a user, and we can add that user to an existing group if it already exists here in our user group lists, or we can create a user group and then add this user and other users to that new group. You can see the data sets that this individual has access to because they're in this default user group. If I disable this, it removes all of the default data sets within the BrainSpace application or this BrainSpace instance. Okay, now that I've created the user, I'm going to save the user. I also have the option of downloading the user information here into a CSV file and providing that to a third party. This gives you a breakdown of all the users in your BrainSpace instance, when they last logged into the system, is their account currently enabled, what groups are they associated with, user groups, what data sets do they have access to, what data sets are they group admins of, which we'll get into in a moment. So a lot of great information about each and every user. So this is sort of a user inventory report for all the users within your BrainSpace instance. And of course, if you have multiple BrainSpace environments or instances, you can generate that report for each of your BrainSpace instances. So now we've created a user, and this is just the permission level for that user is called user. And now we're ready to actually create a user group. So we're going to click on the new group button. We're going to give our group a name, and we're going to call our new group Group ABC. And we're going to
manage the users of this group. In other words, we're going to indicate which users should be associated with this particular group. And we'll look for the new user that we've created, user 2, and we'll associate them to this group. We'll also associate user 1 as well. And I'm going to save that. And now you can see that both of these users are now associated with group ABC. Optionally, I can make one or both of these users group admins. And if you recall from earlier in the video, group admins will, in addition to being able to access all the user features, they'll also be able to, in terms of administrator functions, they'll be able to create and manage data sets that are assigned to this group. They'll also be able to create and manage connectors that are assigned to this group, and they'll also be able to create and manage tags for any data set that's been assigned to this group. So that's really the capabilities or the permission levels for group admin. So I can toggle on which of these users should be a group admin for this particular group. And at any point, I can continue to add additional users to this group. Now I'm ready to associate the data sets. So which data sets should this group have access to? I click on the Manage Datasets button, and I'll select which of the data sets, active data sets, in this instance, BrainSpace instance, this group should have access to. I'll turn a few of these on. And at any point, you can come back in here and you can turn any of these off. And the same goes for the users as well. You can toggle them on and off and manage those permissions. Okay, so I've associated users to my new group. I've associated data sets to my new group. I've indicated which of my users should be a group admin, which again would allow them to create and manage tags, connectors, and data sets for any data set assigned to this particular group. And finally, I'm ready to indicate which of the connectors this group will have permission to use. And we've got a list of connectors here. And if you'll recall, our connectors, we have a DAT connector, meaning you can load data from a DAT file. You can load data from Nuix if you have Nuix environment. You can load data from Relativity, and then third-party plugins. So which of the connectors do you want this group to be able to utilize? I'm just going to turn on the Relativity connector for a moment. And I've created a Relativity connector called Relativity Demo. I'm going to save that. So now we've associated specific connectors to this group, specific data sets, specific users, and we've indicated which users should be our group admin for this particular group, ABC. So I can save that group, and now that group appears in my list of groups here, active groups. If this is a long list of groups, you have a quick search capability as well. And now I want to show you what the permissions look like for a group admin. So we're going to log out and we're going to log in as our new group admin. Okay, and after we log in, you can see that it's going to force me to change my password. Okay, I've changed my password. You can see the data sets that I've been granted access to. When the group was set up, we indicated that these are the two data sets that this group should have access to. And because I am a member of this group, even though I'm a group admin, I can only see these two data sets because these are the two data sets that have been assigned to my particular user group. Now, as a group admin, I still can see the administration screen. But when I go to the administration screen, you can see that you're limited on what you can actually do from a user standpoint. I can create and manage tags, as I mentioned earlier. So as a group admin, for the data sets that I've been granted access to, or that the group has been granted access to that I'm a member of, I have now the ability to create new tags and manage existing tags, and even use the option of connecting to relativity tags because I'm a group admin. I also have the ability to create a new data set for my specific group. Click Create, and when I go to choose my connector, you'll see that I only have the option of building a data set from the relativity connector because that's the connector that we associated to this particular group. You can see that I can look at a list of users within my group, but I do not have the ability to create any new users or to create any new groups either. And then obviously as a group admin, I can see errors associated with the data sets that have been assigned to my group. So just to recap, because I'm a group admin, for the data sets that are assigned to my group, I can create and manage tags. I can actually build new data sets, but only for my group and only for the connector that is assigned to my group. And I can also view the users within my group. So those are the capabilities or the permissions associated with the group admin. And now I'll show you what user permissions look like. So now I'm going to sign in as user 1, which just has the regular user permissions, not group admin permissions. And when I sign in, again, you can see only the data sets that my group has access to. And remember, user 1 is also associated to group ABC. So group ABC has access to the following 3 data sets, including the data set that I just attempted to create as a group admin. So as a user, I don't have any administration capability. You can see that that tab is not even present in the menu. But for the data sets that I have access to, I have access to all of the features within the Analytics tab, including the dashboard, the cluster wheel, the communication screen, threat analysis, and so on. But as a user, I don't have the ability to create and manage classifiers. So I don't have the ability to create and manage a camel classifier or a predictive coding classifier. Those rights or permissions belong to both the group admin and the super admin. But all the other features, including the ability to create and manage notebooks, as well as the visual analytics capabilities, I have access to as a standard user. This concludes our demonstration. For additional information on how to use any of our features, including step-by-step instructions, please visit our new online user documentation portal called BrainSpace Support Station at docs.brainspace.com. If you are a new BrainSpace user or do not have access to this site, please contact BrainSpace Technical Support at support@brainspace.com and request access. Thank you.